Alright guys, before we do the test drive, let's do the words of wisdom. Isaiah 12:2. Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid. For the Lord God is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. Alright, now let me show you guys this bike. Let me just show you this bike that I talk a lot about. I get messages all the time, maybe not multiple ones a day. I don't read all the messages. But I get a lot of messages of people saying, I bought this motorcycle because of one of your videos. And I think Kawasaki did a really bad job at marketing it. Because honestly, I didn't even know about it until I bought one. I bought one with a bunch of bikes, had no idea what I was getting into. And I was like, man, this bike's just it's a small bike. It's a small little 650. It's a 100% it's only for entry-level riders. It's just a cooler looking, cruiser bike. And then I got on it, I rode it, and then I was like, holy cow, this thing's awesome. And then I started doing some research, and I'm like, wow, it's got a Ninja 650 motor in it. I love the Ninja 650, and I love the Versus 650, and there's just so many good things about this bike that I had to, oh man, getting a little low on fuel, that I had to have it. So what we're gonna do is do a little test drive. So nimble. I'm going to show you guys some of the reasons why this is good for a huge range of riders. And then I don't normally do this, but I'm going to try to do a couple 0 to 60s on this bike. And I'm going to see if I can get this thing into sub 3 seconds. I really think I can. That's my goal. So one of the great things about this bike is I think if you're like, hey, what's a good... A lot of times entry-level bikes are just that. They're entry-level bikes, and once you ride them for a little while, you're like, this is, it's not fast, and it's really lacking in a lot of things, but it's great for new riders. It's great for new riders because it's light in weight, and because, the clutch is nice and light, and the throttle, nothing drastic is happening on the throttle when you're doing it. Now, the way this bike is a little bit different, it's comfortable, it's not overly small, it is light, but it's not super small. But most of the power is at like past 6,000 RPMs because it's got the heart and soul of more of a sport bike. So you can make mistakes at the lower RPMs, give it a little too much clutch, give it a little, be a little too quick on the clutch, a little too much throttle, and it's not gonna get you into trouble. Another thing I like about the Vulcan S is they come in really cool paint jobs. They come in flat black, which is a favorite for a lot of people. They come in green. They come in like a matte red. They've just been, kind of doing a lot of wild stuff with their paint jobs. And then of course the Cafe, which, kind of looks like a cafe. Doesn't overly look like a cafe bike. Fix that mirror. It's also a 6-speed gearbox, and it feels like it just got, when you're cruising on the highway, which I'll show you, cruising at the highway speeds or above highway speeds, which you should not do, only on a closed course track. It feels great. It feels comfortable. Let's see what that windshield, with that Cafe windshield, feels like on higher speeds also. The gear indicator on the dash is also really handy. You're not going to see too many entry-level cruiser bikes. Honestly, some entry-level sport bikes don't even have that. It just comes in handy. It's nice to know. You glance at, oh, okay, I'm in second. Yeah, I knew I was in first, second, or third. I was somewhere, but you don't actually know. And sometimes when you're, troubling to get into neutral, it's nice to know, okay, I'm in second. All right. You know what? I hate that I'm going to do this, but I ran out of gas yesterday. I don't want to run out of gas again on the highway. Let me just put a splash of fuel in this thing just so I can make it. Now, if I'm successful and I'm able to get this thing 3 seconds or below, it just goes to show it's not, well, I was going to say it's not about the bike, it's about the rider, but that makes me sound like I'm something special. It's not about how big your bike is. You know what I mean? It's about how you put the power down. And riding this bike, it's not the fastest bike out there. We have tons more bikes that are faster. But if I can get this thing in this 3 seconds or below, I mean, compare that to cars. You know, 2.8 seconds. That's like the the C7 Z06 Corvette, 650 horsepower. It's a fast car. You know, on a hot day when you top off the tank of your sport bike and you're kind of like, you know, your knees are clutching, your legs are clutching the tank and stuff. And you just top it off with fuel, and now it's all cold because the fuel's all cold because it was underground. Love that. All right, there's my first attempt. There. I can do better. I could definitely do better. Let's see what this thing rides like on the... I'm gonna do it again up here. I'm gonna do it till I get a good one. I'm trying to see where I don't feel any air. I don't know how much that fairing's doing. It looks cool though. I mean, it's not taking the wind over. It's taking the wind right here to my face. Well, I guess you gotta look at what the purpose of that thing is. It's not the block, it's a bullet fairing. Not for the sake of blocking wind from me like a windshield. It's for the sake of me and the bike getting more aerodynamic when we tuck down low to go from cafe to cafe. Because when I'm trying to go from Starbucks to square one, I don't go to any of these places. I gotta be going fast, I gotta be tucking low. That's just the bottom line. Yeah, so when it comes to highway speeds, I mean, it feels awesome. All right, here's my strategy. I'm gonna take this thing to like 7,000, maybe 8,000, and then I'm gonna launch off of there. There. I think that was pretty good. Now obviously 0 to 60 is not the only comparison of speed or performance. It's not the only, there's other things, you know what I mean? But what it is it's the most legal one that you can do. Because the speed limit's 65 and I'm allowed to get to the speed limit as fast as I can, as far as I know. So to wrap it up, this bike is a great bike. It's fun. I've helped tons of new riders get in this bike, and also guys have been riding for a while. It's an all around, has so many good qualities for this thing. Is that where I want to go? No. That wraps it up, guys. Remember, it is not what you're riding, but where you're going. And if you're looking for the baddest gloves out there, check out the M1 Moto gloves. Look at the link below. Also, any of you guys that watch the Vin Wiki channel, it's a lot of fun. I was just on it. So I was in the Bronco video from yesterday, so go check that out. I was pretty pumped to be on it, and it was a lot of fun. And I made a bunch of other videos with them, so check that one out. We'll see you guys later.